On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Major stuff always happening every single day. The news is happening very, very quickly. I do have evidence. It's not huge, so don't get too crazy. I mean, it's legit, and I think you guys will be happy with it, but it's sort of might be clickbait for some people. I definitely got it. It's towards the end. You'll see. Let me show you just to make it easy for you. I'm not trying to necessarily hide it, but over here in the We Won section, we definitely have. There's evidence of it. I think there's kind of stuff that builds up to it too. So there's general theme baked into this, but we did win. But the idea of a multipolar world is where we're heading. That is for sure. We're seeing evidence of that playing out. We're seeing old regimes breaking down in certain parts of the world and kind of being given back to who it should be. And in some cases, we're seeing parts of the world coming back under control of individuals that once had control and are now giving it up. Got a lot to talk about. Getting into it right here. This is, I think, a rumor. I don't know. I can't confirm it. I tried, and I couldn't find any confirmation. So I do not think this is necessarily true, but if it is, and it maybe proves to be soon or might end up being, this would almost kind of make sense. I don't know. Whatever the case is, there's a rumor. It's unconfirmed. We don't have an executive order number. There's a whole lot of evidence in here to suggest why he did this, which is not even an argument that you can make. But there's a rumor that President Trump signed an executive order that is going to ignore all lower court rulings until SCOTUS rules on the constitutionality of activist judges. I don't know if that's true. I went and tried to dig into Federal Register of Executive Orders. March 7th seems to be the last date that we show for any executive orders. I kind of find that hard to believe that that's accurate. You know, it's the 13th. I'm sure he's written some executive orders since the 7th, so likely they're a little slow, maybe, to update. And then this one here, presidential actions at whitehouse.gov, March 11th, March 9th, so I definitely see some stuff since the 7th, but nothing for the 13th, and certainly nothing that would suggest, nothing that would suggest that he is, I don't think this one does. Recent weeks, activists, donations, anti-democrat takeover. Yeah, this doesn't have anything to do with the federal courts. Yeah, this has to do with the frivolous lawsuits and making people pay for them. So, again, it's not, I can't find anything yet. Again, today's 13th. This is definitely far more updated than this Federal Register, which, again, whatever. But, yeah, the whitehouse.gov, maybe it's not up to date. Maybe it is. Don't know. So it's something we'll keep tabs on. If you see anything or hear anything, we'll make sure we talk about it. This is just damn funny, and I think this is right outside of the Oval Office, the door that opens for the standard people. It's got Trump's, of course, mugshot. And then, one of the best, the J.D. Vance, where they found that fat picture of him when he was younger, and they've just morphed that into all sorts of things. So, here's an example of Trump, I think, having some fun. Always good times. And some more just friggin' actual insanity. That's why it's under FFS, which is for F's sake. Acres of Amazon rainforest trees are going to be cut down. Why? Because they need to build a road. Why? Or at least a wider road. Well, highway. Why, you ask? Because Brazil is planning on hosting the COP30. It's a major climate summit. So in the process of hosting a climate summit, they're going to cut down a bunch of rainforests. Just saying, so they can build a highway for a climate summit. Again, folks, if they actually meant what they talked about, they wouldn't do the stupid shit they do. It's obviously not what they talk about. This judge halts an effort to deport Colombia protest leader, and he set Wednesday's hearing. I don't know if this is the post where Rubio talks about. Let me see. I don't think it is.
Speech, especially from the government.
Yeah, I got a better one, I think, where Marco Rubio shuts down this reporter who's basically saying, why are you revoking his green card? That's like, you guys talk about being all about free speech, and that's not free speech, which is not even related directly anyway, but his answer is brilliant. All said, the judge is halting an effort to deport Colombia's protest leader. There's a hearing set, I think it was yesterday. We'll find out what all came from that, but who knows? We got, what is this? There we go. This is just funny. I don't know. I mean, maybe you think it's funny. Apparently, Jack had his account locked on Twitter. Isn't that kind of funny? Jack, the original Twitter guy, or Yeah, I think it was. We determined that you have violated the X rules, so you will need to wait some time before using X again. 11 hours and 3 minutes, at least at the time of the screenshot. Isn't that interesting? Also interesting, Kevin McCarthy. He and many other names, even one that it's going to pain me to say, but I'm going to say it and I'll call it out. It's cool. Kevin McCarthy has just joined the Aspen Economic Strategy think tank. Returning members to the same organization include John Podesta and Janet Yellen. We got them down here. Wally Adeyemo, if that name means anything to you. But some of the new members are interesting. Rahm Emanuel, you've heard of him. How about Jonathan Levin or Joseph Manchin? Yeah, that one bums me out a little bit. Kevin McCarthy, Stephen Mnuchin, Gina Raimondo, and John Waldron, Meg Whitman, Heidi Williams. So some interesting people that are showing up. Meg Whitman, we haven't heard her name in a while since she ran for president, right? She's, what was she in charge of now? Former CEO of Hewlett-Packard. Oh, she's the CEO of eBay, I guess, now. There you go. Or former CEO. Whatever. Oh, she's an ambassador to Kenya. I don't know what the hell's going on with Meg Whitman these days. Needless to say, some interesting names are getting showed up in there. That's done. Elon Musk posted this. And this is pretty good video anyway, if I remember correctly. But he says you can see the ridiculous political puppet show for what it really is. Yeah, that's right. This is the one where, again, they have the same script, and they keep sharing this same script to everybody, right? They keep, like, all 50 of them share the exact same stupid thing on the left. It's crazy what's going on. Right? So all Congressman Sarah, blah, 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 it's all the same thing. House Democrats are ready to vote on 4-week funding extension. It stops harmful cuts, keeps government overreach, blah, 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 right? I think they've just signed all of their accounts, their Twitter accounts, up to some automated thing that spits out this stupid stuff. But yeah, I mean, in their minds, they're like, we're united completely. And it's like, no, what you look like is people that are literally copy-pasting. That's not even united. It's like you guys can't even sort of regurgitate the same message. You just suck. I mean, to say it mildly. So kind of got a before and after, but there were some protesters that decided in New York they were going to bust into the first floor of the Trump Tower and start an anti-ICE and pro-Hamas protest. So anyway, here's the start of it anyways. I can't really quite tell. Free Abdul, free something or other. I don't even know. I don't even know what they're actually saying. But here's the police coming in and, arresting them.
You do not accompany the arresting officer voluntarily to the prisoner transport vehicle, or if you resist arrest, you may be charged with additional crimes. Since you have refused to leave the premises, you are now subject to arrest.
The yellow zone is for immediate parking and no parking, right? I mean, it's what it sounds like to me. It's kind of funny. The white zone is for, no, the red zone is for, remember the police or airplane when they were fighting each other? Still funny-ass movie. One of the best out there. Thomas Massie disliked this guy tremendously, thought we'd spend some more time ripping on him. Because why? Because frickin' this guy's a pile of shit. Kentucky, I'm sorry. But you have a great woman there, apparently. Did you know that Thomas Massie opposed funding for Trump's border wall, supported certifying the 2020 election results on January 6th, voted in favor of raising the debt ceiling, took action to defend Adam Schiff, publicly backed Ron DeSantis, campaigned on behalf of Mitch McConnell, criticized Devin Nunes, the person who played a key role in uncovering the deep state's surveillance of President Trump, and the worst part? Some people still think he's a patriot. Thomas Massie might just be the most despicable figure in a deep state that's already overflowing with corruption. Yeah, what a pile of trash. Pile o' trash. Thomas Massie, I am not done coming after you, my friend. No, sir. No, sir. We will ruin you. That's the whole plan. Not like professionally, just politically. I don't ever want you to set foot in any sort of form of politics ever again. Donald Trump truths this out. The European Union, one of the most hostile and abusive taxing and tariffing authorities in the world, which was formed for the sole purpose of taking advantage of the United States, has just put a nasty 50% tariff on whiskey. What? If this tariff is not removed immediately, the U.S. will shortly place a 200% tariff on all wines, champagnes, and alcoholic profits coming out of France and other EU-represented countries. This will be great for the wine and champagne business in the United States. Hell yeah, we got a lot of great vineyards here. It'll be fantastic if that stuff becomes too expensive. And people are like, see, it's raising the prices. Yeah, of those products, there's a lot of great American-made products that are going to be significantly less expensive in comparison. Isn't that interesting? Funny how the world works, isn't it? I hope we got that right. I think I did something wrong on that. I feel like I did. Hang on, see if I can get... Whoops. Did I do that right? I don't know what's going on. Senate Democrats embrace hardball on government shutdown. They are, serious about trying to shut down the government. That much we know is true. So, yes, Schumer is having his little speech. We'll go ahead and give this because what I think is funny, and I don't know if the vote has happened just yet. I was pretty clear on the news once I got going. But what I think is very funny is I think, and I've talked about this a bunch going in, there's been numerous times, Thomas Massie's been a dick, that's been a part of this too, but there's been numerous times where it almost had a government shutdown. Most of the people on our side were like, yeah, we want a government shutdown, that'd be awesome. And I kept screaming, no, because they're going to blame us. And it was before the election, and going into an election with a shutdown government, we were toast. There was no way we were going to win. Whoever shuts down the government gets blamed. Period. Doesn't matter why as much. They're going to be like, well, you guys shut it down. Period. So I feel like we tricked the Democrats into falling on this sword. And they are so easy to, fake or force, trick into doing stupid behavior. And they seem to have fallen into it maybe one more time. Now, I'm curious how the whole shutdown of the government is going to actually work, but we've seen them countless times come out and talk about how horrible shutdowns are. Well, now they're supporting one.
Funding the government should be a bipartisan effort, but Republicans chose a partisan path, drafting their continuing resolution without any input from congressional Democrats. Because of that, Republicans do not have the votes in the Senate to invoke cloture on the House CR. Our caucus is unified on a clean April 11th CR that will keep the government open and give Congress time to negotiate bipartisan legislation that can pass. We should vote on that. I hope our Republican colleagues will join us to avoid a shutdown on Friday.
Right, they're trying to make it sound like it's the Republicans' fault, but the Republicans have put forward a bill that obviously we didn't ask for anything from the Dems, so the Dems don't have anything in the bill. So that is, it's something they're going to be contentious about. But from what I understand, I don't think there's going to be any backing down on this. Now, for the people that are like, why can't we pass this through the Senate? Apparently, to pass this, I got to get past this cloture thing. To get past the cloture thing, you need more than 60 votes in order to get past the filibuster. So if they're able to filibuster it or whatever the hell, then we wouldn't be able to pass it with a normal 50-50 vote anyway, or a popular vote or whatever they call it. So I don't know. This is, we'll see it play out. We're watching government in action / failing. Fetterman came out. He's proposing exchanging cloture for a 30-day CR that 100% fails. He says the House GOP CR will then pass the Senate because it only needs 51 votes. Total theater is neither honest with constituents nor a winning argument, he concludes. So, again, Fetterman coming out and kind of saying the proper things. I bet you Manchin would probably step away from this nonsense too. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they got the 60 votes for sure, but we definitely got more than just Republicans. We've got a little bit of bipartisan action going on. Donald Trump truthed this out. The European Union, I already talked about this. So, yeah, needless to say. I got stuff all over the place, and I think I hit a different button at one point. This is just crazy. Gold hit 3,000 today, folks. Hit 3,000. I don't know if that was the bid or the ask. That was the ask, so whatever. They're looking at the wrong number, really. But all said, it finally has basically happened. So big numbers have been occurring. I've been talking about the movement of precious metals It's still, I think, a very good idea for a period of time, folks. I don't know how much longer it's going to make sense. I don't know how much higher. I want to say easy 4,000 before everything's said and done. So we still got a lot of growth baked into gold and silver. Silver, too, for that matter, is doing very, very well. So keep these things in mind. But you definitely want to go to drslikesgold.com. That's drslikesgold.com. Let my good friends at Goldco help you through this process. But yeah, we 2987 is what Kitco's saying. So I don't know where Praying Medic's getting his info, but we're very close to 3,000, whatever the case is. Silver's almost at they hit a high of 34. Holy crap! Silver went up really good. It's at 33.90, 33.80 right now for the bid. That's pretty good. So again, silver's even gone up a bunch. I'm telling you, it's just there is a lot more price baked into precious metals. I don't know what's left in the stock market and in the dollar for the time being. Inflation, obviously not as bad as they were expecting, but still inflation, which means buying power is going away. Not so much happening. That's kind of baked into precious metals, and precious metals are rising actually faster than inflation. So it's pretty powerful. If you've got a 401k or an IRA and you're kind of cooking in their system, I would diversify. I would definitely consider diversifying into some precious metals. It's a powerful way to do it. It's physical metals. There's literally an IRA, precious metals IRA. You get physical metals. You do it tax-free, penalty-free. You put them in a trust, because otherwise if they give you the metals at this moment, that's the same thing as a cash out. That's where you're going to get busted with all sorts of penalties and reamed with taxes. So don't do that, but it is physical metals, and you can at some point say, send me my metals, and they will literally send you your metals. It's your metals. They're your metals. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Look into how you can protect your wealth, how you can diversify out of that crazy system of theirs, and how you can get into something that's doing extraordinarily well. And keep this in mind too, right? Pirates used to run around with treasure chests. What were in treasure chests? Well, some gems, but mostly gold and silver, maybe, right? They had the crazy gold and silver because it's valuable. It's worth something. It's beautiful. You can make jewelry out of it, right? It's awesome. drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of their system before they get out of you. And by the way, you could qualify up to 10% free silver of your face value of your 401k. drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Nasty system. Senate panel okays Macary's nomination as the FDA commissioner. I don't know, just in case it matters. He's going to make it. He just made it through the committee. Now that he's going to go to a full vote. So there's still a couple people that I think we're trying to get in. I want to say there's 2, maybe 3. I'm not exactly sure what the full count is. We got the important ones, but Cash was the 17th, oddly. This is pretty good here. Looney left screams and yells at Homan. He's just eating an apple as he's walking out. I might play too much of this, but it's just cool to see how friggin' nonchalant this dude is. He's like, I don't give a shit. Check it out. And again, they just keep walking and walking. It's just people chanting stupid stuff. But it is cool because then we've actually got Homan kind of throwing down the gauntlet a little bit. And frankly, I love this kind of shit. And it's pissing off the left tremendously. But I think our side's eating it up.
I always hear all the time, family separation. Homan's the godfather of family separation. Let me be clear. Zero tolerance is about saving lives. If we figure we start prosecuting people who violate the law and put the children in harm's way, maybe they stop coming. And they did. Numbers went down. It's unfortunate families got separated. But it happens to American families every day. It's going to happen in Albany today that American family will be separated by law enforcement because the child can't go to jail with a parent. But we want to talk about family separation? 500,000 children on Joe Biden were trafficked into this country. They can't find 300,000 of them. That's a separation. But you know what President Trump's committed? We're going to find them, and we're going to save them, because many of these children are in forced labor, many of these children are in forced sex slavery. We're going to save them. This administration.
He's so pissed off he had to dub his own Chinese movie. It's like one of those, damn you. You want to fight? Then fight me. Felt like it a little bit. That wasn't my fault. Sometimes that happens. I don't know. It's weird how the sinks get out sometimes, you can't control it. You can't, I'm telling you. Immigration and Customs Enforcement arrests Since Trump has come into office, have gotten a lot better, frankly. They're already outpacing arrests made in the entire year of 2024. In fact, we actually found that there was some book cooking going on. I don't know if this is it or not. This is not the story that talks about the book cooking. But there was a story that's out right now about how the Biden administration was arresting people, processing them, and then letting them into the interior of the United States and said, all right, we'll call you one of these days when we got a court hearing. And they were counting that as arrests. They were cooking the numbers. So we've at least got legitimate numbers happening. Trump's already, since he's been in office, done more arrests, especially legitimate ones, than the Biden administration, hands down. So Trump administration empties Guantanamo Bay of migrants, flies them all back to the U.S. There's supposedly only like 40 of them. Now, I'm curious, obviously, this has hit some roadblocks probably from the standpoint of the courts. I think Trump's also doing some fun stuff where he's moving them around and making it tough. We also have an interesting story next, too, that could speak to a lot of this. But he flew them all back. I think a bunch of them ended up back in Georgia at some detainment facility there. But we are finding out, though, that Venezuela is going to be resuming flights to collect migrants. Now, I can't help but think that maybe these two stories tie back, like they were flown back from Guantanamo to be deported, and maybe our government's like, no, we do not want your Venezuelan plane landing at Guantanamo or whatever, right? Like, it's just potential possibility of problems, right? Like, no, not going to do that. Go ahead and fly into Georgia. We'll meet you there. So I'm wondering, I don't know. It's very, very possible that these two are sort of tied together. And again, you've got a news agency that you can't trust, The Hill, spinning it in a direction that makes it sound like Trump's losing in the courts. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. If it is, then okay, then he's just bouncing these people around so they can't find him. But Venezuela is resuming flights, so we're still going to be deporting people, however you slice it. This was what I was talking about with Mark Cuban just being a badass when he shuts down this reporter. I love this. Check this out.
Appealed to a lot of Americans during his campaign on free speech arguments and not suppressing speech, especially from the government. But your revocation of the green card, to many, is seen as one of the most anti-speech actions a secretary can take with his powers. How do you respond?
Yeah, when you enter this is an important point, and I'm glad you asked this question. When you come to the United States as a visitor, which is what a visa is, which is how this individual entered this country, as on a visitor's visa, okay, you are here as a visitor. We can deny you that visa. We can deny you that if you tell us when you apply, hi, I'm trying to get into the United States on a student visa. I am a big supporter of Hamas, a murderous, barbaric group that kidnaps children, that rapes teenage girls, that takes hostages, that allows them to die in captivity, that returns more bodies than live hostages. If you tell us that you are in favor of a group like this, and if you tell us when you apply for your visa, and by the way, I intend to come to your country as a student and rile up all kinds of anti-Jewish student, anti-Semitic activities, I intend to shut down your universities. If you told us all these things when you applied for a visa, we would deny your visa. I hope we would. If you actually end up doing that, once you're in this country on such a visa, we will revoke it. And if you end up having a green card, not citizenship, but a green card as a result of that visa while you're here in those activities, we're going to kick you out. It's as simple as that. This is not about free speech. This is about people that don't have a right to be in the United States to begin with. No one has a right to a student visa. No one has a right to a green card, by the way. So when you apply for a student visa, or any visa to enter the United States, we have a right to deny you for virtually any reason. But I think being a supporter of Hamas and coming into our universities and turning them upside down and being complicit in what are clearly crimes of vandalization, complicit in shutting down learning institutions. There are kids at these schools that can't go to class. You pay all this money to these high-priced schools that are supposed to be of great esteem, and you can't even go to class. You're afraid to go to class because these lunatics are running around with covers on their face, screaming terrifying things. If you told us that's what you intended to do when you came to America, we would have never let you in. And if you do it once you get in, we're going to revoke it and kick you out.
Essentially saying, dude, I don't give a crap. He's got a green card. Yep. And we're kicking his punk ass out. Done. GTFO. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. Russian President Vladimir Putin said, and I've got kind of a direct quote from him coming here in a second, but he said a 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine is, in principle, is awesome. He supports it, but noted that its implementation raises many questions, particularly regarding verification across a long front line, which is a very good point, because it's very easy to fake this. right? You get a Ukrainian to do some sort of shooting thing, or even have a Ukrainian come back and somehow shoot a weapon back at its own troops to try to start a war. It's very easy to do. He added that these issues would need to be discussed with the United States, perhaps in a phone call with President Donald Trump, whom he thanked for paying so much attention to the Ukraine negotiations. To quote, "The idea itself is the right one, and we certainly support it. But there are issues that need to be discussed." He continued, "How will we be guaranteed that nothing like this will happen?" Talking about, cross-border stuff, How will that control be carried out? These are serious questions. Who will give the orders to to cease hostilities? Now, part of the problem is they want to put people like, England and France want to put their troops down on the ground. We'll make sure everything's okay. But here's the problem is both of those sides have already said that they want more war. They were going to continue to push for war, and they realized they couldn't because the United States wasn't on board. We were given the money and the weapons, for the most part, and they couldn't do either. So, I don't know. We're going to see. Putin kind of basically said, look, all right, I'm game. I don't know what changed. I don't know if he had his phone call already. I'm not sure how these chronologically, cross paths, these two stories, but they're reasonably close, I'm sure.
We agree with the propositions to stop hostilities, but we proceed from the fact that such ceasefire should be such that would lead to a permanent peace and remove the original causes of the crisis.
Yeah, I was just sitting there admiring his tie. I'm like, that's a really nice tie. Look at that. That's a beautiful tie. Love that. Yeah, anywho, not really important. So critical, Elon Musk says it's critical to stop the massive government fraud and waste. So we just had a little bit of an audit. Back in 2024, Joe Biden's U.S. Government Accountability Office, or the GAO as it's frequently referred to, they estimated the U.S. loses 233 to 521 billion, with a B, billion dollars a year due to fraud, waste, and abuse. $250 billion to $500 billion a year is what they estimated. And yes, that is exactly what DOGE is trying to put an end to. Climate group controlled by Bill Gates has hit some layoffs. Of course, a lot of the dismantling of USAID has cost these companies huge money. Again, we're going to see all sorts of different little climate companies falling by the wayside because literally they were not doing anything and just collecting gobs of dough. And those days are over. And I'm glad it's hurting Mr. William Gates, too. Thank God. This is pretty freaking sweet. Secretary Doug Collins. I love this dude. And he I don't know who this chick is, but he really does put her in her place. And I think in a respectful way. But he holds his ground. He kind of laughs at her. I don't know. It had all the things that made for a fun little video. Check it out.
But I do have a second thing, Patricia, I really need to know. One of the things that I've been finding, we got into it a little bit in the discussion, but one of the issues that we're having is, and it's something here, I need your help on something. I need your help because all I seem to be doing lately is fighting back against innuendo and rumor stories. And this is what I seem to be fighting about all the time. In fact, Patricia, part of it is with you.
I'm sure.
And I just need your help because when you start headlines with, there's a rumor going around and that we've heard that hurts my veterans. That scares my veterans. That scares my employees because it's not true. Will you commit to not doing that in the future?
Well, there was a DOGE representative that day.
I have a VA employee who is our DOGE liaison. You knew that and you could ask that question.
I did ask that
question.
But
when you got the answer. But my question here is, I need you to commit to not starting off. Rumors began circulating.
I mean,
well, if it's either true or false, Patricia, and then you go to Patty Murphy, saying that we've heard and DOGE may have barged into the VA today. Unconfirmed hearsay. You know what you'd have done if I was a member of Congress and probably done that? Unconfirmed report. But you didn't put unconfirmed report.
Right.
So, Patricia, I want to work together with you.
Okay.
But I need you to commit to me that you're not going to do this.
I'm working on it, and I have been. Actually, I have another question based on that. Thank you very much.
No, I want to hear the answer first. Are you committing not to do rumors? Because you're scaring my VA employees about this.
That's fair.
And you're scaring my veterans.
Yeah, I
That's
will do
unforgivable.
that.
That's
I will
not
do
a that's
that.
not a something I
But
take
if
lightly.
a rumor is different than if I have a source.
Then you source it to our PR people and let them know, because you know something, I've got people who are reporting stuff right now who aren't even calling us. They don't even get something from. They don't even call us to check it.
Well, that's not right.
Well, this isn't right either.
Okay. Well, that's fair. But I did call about that.
Good.
I did call about
And you got the answer, but yet you still report it as a rumor.
Well, I didn't.
Okay,
report-
which is it? Which is it? Is it a rumor or is you get confirmed?
Was that there is a DOGE person there.
There is.
That was the
Okay,
lead,
nobody
second
has
draft.
said that from you. Nobody. We answered it, but it was reported as a rumor. I mean, you think about
take
this.
issue with
and
parsing out
you know,
my
and
stuff,
in
but
the
that's
in
fine.
the headline of the story,
I
Elon,
don't write the
Elon
headlines.
Musk. Hey, I don't care who
I don't
wrote
write
it.
the headlines. I know. I have
but
to
your
push
byline.
back.
It's
I'm
your
starting
byline.
to push back on those, and I
Okay,
have.
but you think about what it says here. Elon Musk aide is now working at VA accessing computer systems. Ooh. And I mean, that's all in
That's
this.
a true statement.
No, I mean, it is, because you know what? We don't make a DOGE employee, which is funny because they're VA employees, a liaison. We don't also give them a
I
pen.
was not told that.
We don't give.
I was not told
But
there
you
was
wrote
a
the
DOGE
article.
liaison. It
You wrote
told
the
there was a
article.
DOGE employee, one DOGE employee.
As we look at this, Patricia, I want you to know something. When you look at this headline and you're accessing computer systems, I want to work with you a lot as we go forward. We're going to have a lot of time together.
That's fair.
But I'm not going to have any reporter scaring my employees and scaring the veterans. And that's what this is doing. Let's get it right. I'm the most transparent VA secretary we've had yet. I'm on video. I'm on interviews. I do everything I possibly can to push back against everything I'm hearing. So we got a team that'll help you, but I need your commitment to help me too. Okay?
Help me help you. Well done. Well done indeed. So yes, Department of Winning pointed this out. I think it's insulting. Oh, this was freaking awesome. The sweet Caroline, our wonderful press secretary. Someone's trying to explain to her how economics works. She first answers it, and then he continues, and she sort of schools him on how he's trying to school her. This chick's awesome.
Thanks, Caroline.
You're welcome.
If we could just step back for a second. When President Trump last addressed the BRT when he was on the campaign trail, his big push was on tax cuts. He's going there today as he's proposing tax hikes in the form of tariffs.
Not
and
true.
I'm curious
He's not
for
doing
why
that.
he's prioritizing that over the tax cuts.
He's actually not implementing tax hikes. Tariffs are a tax hike on foreign countries that, again, have been ripping us off. Tariffs are a tax cut for the American people, and the president is a staunch advocate of tax cuts. As you know, he campaigned on no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on Social Security benefits. He is committed to all three of those things, and he expects Congress to pass them later this year.
I'm sorry, have you ever paid a tariff? Because I have.
That's
They
it.
don't get charged on foreign companies, they get charged on the importers.
And ultimately, when we have fair and balanced trade, which the American people have not seen in decades, as I said at the beginning, revenues will stay here, wages will go up, and our country will be made wealthy again. And I think it's insulting that you're trying to test my knowledge of economics and the decisions that this president has made. I'm now regret giving a question to the Associated Press. Mary, go ahead.
No tax for you! Basically what he's doing, I think. Obviously a soup Nazi reference for those of you that were like, where did the shit did that come from, Dan? Dan is weird sometimes. Like Tourette's or shit, fuck! I mean, I don't even know. Who knows? Hey, this is pretty good. Money laundering. Freshly released Treasury documents show financial institutions have submitted thousands of reports highlighting potentially questionable transactions tied to ActBlue. Yet nobody done a dang thing about it. No. Until now.
We requested from Treasury during the Biden administration to see whether or not there were bank violations called suspicious activity reports against ActBlue. Of course, they never would get back with us. Finally, after the election, they confirmed that there were some. They allowed my staff to go in and view like 10 or 12. They were really bad. But I can say with confidence, there are hundreds more. And now with the new Trump administration, we're going to be able to go in there and look at them. I think we'll be able to answer a lot of questions.
Yeah, hundreds more. That's amazing to think about. Have you received a response to your letter last week to the Treasury Department?
Yes, it's a whole different ballgame for me on the Oversight Committee. The Trump administration actually responds to our request for information. Obviously, they're new and getting their, figuring out where the bathrooms are and trying to get a handle over everything. But I'm very confident that the Oversight Committee will be allowed in to view those suspicious activity reports. And the fact that there are so many shows that the banks were suspicious of a lot of activity. And what we believe is what's been reported and suggested on a lot of conservative channels over the years is that this money wasn't actually coming from John Doe and Jane Doe sitting at home donating $10 every week to every Democrat candidate running for every office in America. We always suspected that there was an influx of cash coming in from other ways. And the way ActBlue set up their account, it would be very easy to launder money into there through fake credit card accounts and fake names and things like that. So the banks, by virtue of catching so many violations from so many different banks, which would suggest to me these were credit cards, I think that we're going to be able to find out where the source of a lot of this money was coming from.
And by the way, Kentucky, thank you. James Comer, stellar individual. Stellar individual. Wonderful man. Thomas Massie, piece of shit. What about McConnell? Hot wife. She's old now, but she still looks good in my opinion. But he's a communist. I don't know what's going on. Kentucky, please. You had an excellent song, Kentucky Woman, that Neil Diamond, he obviously found love in your wonderful state. I lived in Tennessee for 5 years of my life, and I have love, even though we were below that magical line. I wasn't a Tennessean. They called me a Yankee, though. It's funny. I was like, I'm from Southern California. I'm like, I don't even think we were part of the Union when that was happening, right? Like, I was Mexico. Like, what? Call me a Mexican, if anything. That's what I tell them. And they didn't call me a Mexican. Because, like, I'm not really a Yankee. Or a damn Yankee, for that matter. I didn't stay there for good. I love Tennessee. It was beautiful out there. Humid, giant bugs. Cold in the winter, which I kind of liked, frankly, because all the bugs died. Summer was insane. Grass, I'd have to mow it literally 2 to 3 times a week, literally, because it would rain, and then you'd literally see, like, I swear to God, the grass just grew. It grew like an inch just there, right when the sun came out after the rain, and then you just, like, literally watch the grass just go, and you're like, how the shit do you do that? It does it. But the spring, fall, it's gorgeous. Like the Smoky Mountains in the fall, I think it's probably, quite possibly, at least from my vantage point, I haven't been all over the world and stuff, but probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life is the Smoky Mountains in the fall. Just seeing an entire mountain range turn color is gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. So, anyways, long tirade about nothing. Top IRS lawyer pushed aside as DOGE seeks tax records. Everyone's freaking out about DOGE looking at stuff. Nobody's supposed to look at that information. We understand that you don't want anybody to look at that information because that's called an audit. And you guys aren't really forthcoming with those. That's funny. Anyway, the one point that I wanted to jump out at, but these and similar efforts have provoked a significant backlash from career staffers who point to long-standing legal protections governing the use of sensitive federal data. Civil servants across the government, including the Social Security Administration and Department of Health, and the Human Services, have objected in recent days to DOGE's attempt to penetrate these closely guarded systems. I'm intentionally trying to sound as gay as I possibly can. No offense to gay people. Yeah, nobody's supposed to look at this, is what they're saying, except in a super lispy way. Yeah, people are supposed to look at it. Hello? We should look at it. And hopefully, let's be honest, hopefully we find some weird shit while we're looking at it. Let's just be honest. Chinese nationals banned from U.S. student visas under new House GOP proposal. I feel bad, but really, here's the problem, is the Communist Chinese Party, the CCP, they have a huge part to play in which students come here and all that, and then they get put into all these great companies and blah, 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 and then they send the secrets home. So we kind of can't. Again, it's not the Chinese people. I love all people on this planet. All people. Any one nation. I'll tell you things. Love it. And again, it's just most of us don't understand each other because we're a little different. The difference between the West and the East is really a trip when it comes to culture, but we're all people. People love, people feel, people want their families to be safe. Like, it's all the same. It's just our cultural ways of expressing and our cultural ways of dealing with the world are very different. It's actually fascinating if you're somebody that kind of pays attention at all. So this is a big deal in a lot of ways, not just because it's less Asians coming into this country. Come on, man. But it's also, yeah, we got to control this. We can't let CCP and / deep state continue to steal intellectual property from this country. It's just not going to happen anymore. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick talks about his goal. For any of you guys making less than 150 G's a year, my friends, he's trying to get no taxes for you.
How about no tax on tips? How about no tax on overtime? How about no Social Security? How about all those things? These are the kind of thoughts that will change America. I know what his goal is. No tax for anybody who makes less than $150,000 a year. That's his goal. And that's what I'm working for. How about no
tax for you? I'm telling you, there's a theme going on here. See, the war has been won. I haven't really brought it up a whole lot, but it's literally part of this whole discussion. We won the war. Oh, yeah, I put this in here. How funny. It actually got higher, but yeah, not really where it belongs. I did a weird thing where I highlighted a bunch of shit and then moved it, and it had some stuff up. So that's some of what I'm having the joy of experiencing right now. But it is what it is. Sorry, guys. Happens. You got to just roll. We got to roll with the punches, right? Day to day. That's how it is. Linda McMahon. It's so hard for me. That word sucks in my brain. It's McMahon. McMahon. It's not McMahon. It's not. I don't care how you say it. You're asking me to get rid of the ho out of the name. I'm not saying anything disparaging about this lovely lady. I'm sure she's not a hoe. Maybe that's why she's McMahon. But it feels like we're removing the ho from the word. Anyways, I know she's nice, and I think her husband passed away. He was a coach, right? Vince McMahon? McMahon? Anyway, whatever the hell. Washington, D.C. Education Secretary Linda McMahon. She met with a group of detransitioners. She's basically talking to people that, like, whoops. And she's really discussing a lot of how the schools are where a lot of this discussion to the child is happening. Now, you could call it brainwashing. Some would say that's offensive. That's what it is, though. That's basically what it is. They would not be hearing about this. So here's the thing. Most of us that can be honest to ourselves, and we're maybe I don't know, a little more. What is it when you get playing around? Playing doctor and shit at a young age when you probably shouldn't have been. Whatever. Call it which one. Like, most of us probably had our moments where, like, we were a little like, what's happening here? Like, and that was, again, it was during that pubescent period. Now, all of us. And then the chicks, when they're in college, apparently all of them become lesbians for a short period of time. I don't know. And they have pillow fights in their underwear. Ladies, stop. I know you always tell us you guys don't do that. We know the truth. Or if not, let us just keep thinking it, because it's such a cool visual. We are visual, my friends. It's pillows, just feathers floating everywhere, panties. Come on, guys, right? Am I wrong? I know, ladies, or whatever. Nah, your opinion doesn't matter right now. This is for us men. Yes, Miss McMahon. Not the choice, per se. They took ho out of it. I mean, what's the point? Anyway, yeah. So they're talking to the right people. I don't know why I think it's funny as hell. I don't know what's wrong with me, folks. I don't know what's wrong with me. President Trump talking about something important here. I'll speed it up a little.
This was a fluke. This was something that, if we had a competent president, it would not have happened. The man was grossly incompetent. All you have to do is take a look at he signs by autopen. Who was signing all this stuff by autopen? Who would think you signed important documents by autopen? These are major documents you're signing. You're proud to sign them. You have your signature on something. In 300 years, they say, oh, look, can you imagine? Everything was signed by autopen, almost everything. Nobody's ever heard of such a thing. So, should have never happened.
There's no such thing as autopens. Huh. Oh, Jesus, no, I don't think so. Oh, my God, it's going to sign all over you. What was I'm drawing a blank on the song they did in Beetlejuice. It bums me out. If I could have, that would have been cool. My mind is hindsighting on this. Like the autopen could have been better, but I could have done the whole Beatle. Oh, why am I drawing a blank on that? Such a good not Harry, Belafonte song, right? Wasn't it? Anyways, whatever. I've already gone long. That's probably why Universe is like, seriously, Dan? The sister of Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett was recently targeted by a bomb threat. We talked about this. I talked to even a friend of mine at the gym, and he was kind of pissed off at the Supreme Court right now. And again, it's ABC. That's these types of networks that keep saying like Coney Barrett was one of the people that didn't vote for this particular thing. And there was one recently. It was like, what? But I honestly think her and Russ Roberts was the other one. And I think Ted Cruz, I lump into this one frequently too. I'm sure these people have had threats. And these people have family. Now, I think Roberts and Cruz are in a slightly different category than Coney Barrett. I think Coney Barrett's got a family that she loves, of course, because she's a mama bear, and would do anything to protect her family. And that's how it should be, frankly. Country is important, yes, but not above your family. Not above your immediate family. Not above your own children, at least. No, I would never expect anyone to choose the country over their own children. Unless their children suck. I mean, I've seen some parents that have some shit children. I'd be like, look, dude, we could sacrifice one of yours easy, right? Huh? We're probably doing you a favor, minus the tax break, sorry. But no, outside of that, world's probably better off. No. Dem AGs sue over Trump administration's education department layoffs. Yeah, whatever. Oh, no, they're laying off a bunch of shitty people. It's not fair. Shut up. Seriously. Obama briefing memos, sensitive foreign conversations, they were forwarded by Biden to a non-secure email address many times. This goes back to when he was vice president for sure, and I think even back to his probably Senate days, but this article I think sticks strictly to the vice president days of gold. Yeah, remember he was too retarded to be able to like stand trial, so they're like, oh, he did the same exact thing as Trump, except he was not ever legally allowed to do what Trump did. Trump was legally allowed to do what he did. Sort of different, but he's retarded, so he can't go to trial. And Trump's not retarded, so he can for something he's legally allowed to do. It was always good times how that played out. So, yeah. Judge Chutkin, you probably remember her name. She's been involved in some of our wonderful conspiracies. She granted a motion from multiple state attorneys general. Still one of the weirdest titles to me. Attorneys general. I'm sure there's some wonderful, brilliant reason why it seems weird. It seems to me like it should be attorney generals, but it's not, and it's intentionally not, and it's correctly not. I know. It still bugs the shit out of me. I don't know what it is. My brain's like, why are you putting the S there? Again, there's a reason. They obtained discovery related to DOGE, specifically seeking details about the identities of DOGE staff and the scope of the authority held by the DOGE and Musk people. Now, here's the thing. Her trying to get access to the people specifically is obviously dangerous. They're going to try to come after these people. We know exactly what's going on here. Again, that thing I started with, was that true, EO? Did Trump actually squash some of this? Because he's going to have to at some point. Right? So maybe that was one of those bubbles. Remember we've talked about them in the past. They do little bubbles. They'll put them up and see what people think. Are we ready? How does that poll? And that could very well be where we're at. So ripples on this concept that Trump, he needs to do what he needs to do, but we need kind of a legal way to move forward where Trump can be like, all right, here's the deal. I'm protecting the country, and I'm going to do an executive order that says, look, Supreme Court, you got to look at this. I don't give a shit. And that's kind of a neat way to go about it. Like we talk about the Brunson case, there's no way. There's such a bridge so far past where we're at right now. If you can't see that, you're not even paying attention. But it's way the FF past where we're at. So what's that next step? What's the next, you make that walkway in your garden or whatever, and you put little pieces of, stone down or whatever. Get your ground stoned. I don't know. But we can't Let these judges do what they're doing. They don't run the country. He's the executor of the executive branch. I'm probably using that term wrong. I don't know. No one's gotten pissed at me for it yet. I feel like that's correct. He's the executor of the will, right? Like executor of the executive branch. It feels right, but nah. Someone's going to... One of you guys, am I wrong on that? Go ahead and put it in the comments. I probably won't see it, but talk about it. Thumbs up, by the way, if you can, please. Appreciate that. Helps a lot. And it's funny because I never ask. Well, I seldom ask. I ask like 1/4, 1/5 of the time. It makes a huge ass difference. It's so damn funny. Like there's like 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 of you guys that are gonna go, oh shit, thanks for reminding me, Dan. And dude, if you guys could just remember on a regular basis, like you love my channel, do you truly love my channel, and you want to help my channel without having to really do anything other than that's it. The thumbs up's a big deal. It doesn't hurt as much the other direction, by the way. The 9 of you or 13 of you or 4 of you, or it depends. Doesn't matter. You guys that actually put the plus, yeah, that actually matters a lot. A lot. Can't afford my products? That's cool. Make sure you hit that thumbs up every day, please. And if you haven't subscribed, oh my gosh. And if on Rumble, because there's a lot of fake channels, go to rumble.com/channels/C/on the fringe. That's me. That's me. If when you look at the channel page of whatever channel you're subscribed to and it doesn't say that, then you're probably not on my channel at all. So yeah, leaked audio, DII activist. This was a air traffic controller guy giving answers to the question to specifically only people of color, POCs, I guess you would say. And because of that, they were able to get jobs, but they didn't offer this to anybody else. I don't know, whatever the case is. It's kind of a DEI weird thing that I don't want to spend any more time on than that. Healthy Home, my God, I love this product. You guys seem to be loving this product too. I talked to my good cop friend, Laura, I love you. You're awesome. And I talked to her. She's realized, first off, by the way, and this is what healthy living or heal thy home is what this is all about. But go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com or danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. And let's talk about this. First off, I took my STEM active. I was like, holy crap, while I was in the middle of filming this today, I'm like, I haven't taken my STEM active. I got my nitric oxide activator. Love this. I don't miss that. Still need to do my collagen. We'll do that while the editing occurs. You can't even see it. There we go. You can't even see this. My God. Hello. How beautiful this is. Vanna White showed me how to do that. The products are incredible. But what I noticed is funny is when we focus on health, which is what this product is. See, I talk manifesting. If you guys go to Dan Radio Style at YouTube, literally look up Dan Radio Style. Just search that one word, scrunch it all together. One word, Dan Radio Style. That's my channel. That's me. There's a picture of me in a white shirt going, yeah, and there's sunset behind me. It's beautiful. I was at a wedding in Arizona. A cousin was getting married. It was a friggin' awesome time. Yeah, I was happy. I was pretty buzzed, I think, too, at the time. I was very happy at that moment. Life was incredible, which it still is. So I do manifesting stuff over there, and that's what I talk about a lot, is what you focus on is what you experience. Now, a lot of people have a hard time with health, healing, those types of things. And see, when people think about healing, they always focus on the injury and making it better. And that's not how you heal. You don't heal by focusing on the thing. You don't get rid of something by looking at it constantly. You can't. It's going to constantly stay there. The second you can turn away from it and start actually looking at something else and give it a chance to run away and get out of your life and your mind, that's actually how you get rid of something. You let it go. You stop talking about it. You stop shining a light on it. You let it go. Now, easier said than done, they always come back with. True. How do you do it? You focus on health. Health. So in the process of focusing on health, you start to pay attention to the things you're doing wrong. Now, this lovely friend of mine, cop, has a really heavy bag that she carries around with her, right? And she picks that bag up from the car with her right arm every time and goes off and does her thing. Her right arm's the one that's getting jacked. Her right arm's the one that's kind of wearing out. Her right arm's the one that she's noticed. She's also the one she's damaged before in the past. And when you realize you start catching yourself in the act of doing something and you're like, I'm doing an abnormal, like I could switch this up, want to keep strong on both arms, use my left tomorrow. It's weird though, because you're facing the backwards direction, but you could still grab your bag with your left arm. But we don't notice these things until we pay attention to our health. I know it sounds stupid, but it's actually how it works. And what's amazing is these products, there's like, I don't know, 8 of them, whatever. They're incredible. I'm doing 3 of them right now. My girlfriend's doing a extra one that I'm not doing because she's doing the Stem Active gel. She does the gel. She likes the flavor of it. I'm doing the pill. I just take the pill. I'm happy with that. Same damn thing, right? Hers is probably better, really, because it probably gets in you quicker. But this has those gel caps, so they dissolve very quickly, and then they bust apart, and there's a bunch of goodies that pop out, and life's groovy. Either way, what it does is it enhances the number of stem cells in your body. Stem cells are cells that can become other cells. These other cells are what heal your body. You got issues with your shoulder, your muscle, your cartilage, your heart, your lungs, I don't know, whatever. They all have unique cells. Your lung cell is different than a heart cell. A lung cell can never become a heart cell. Heart cell can never become a lung cell. But a stem cell can become anything at least once, and then it's stuck being that forever. What this does is enhances the number of stem cells. It doesn't give you stem cells. It's not a stem cell injection because that would probably come from embryonic fetus, which is disgusting. This is actually a supplement that helps your body produce more stem cells of its own by 25 to 40% in an extraordinarily short period of time. That is the magic in this product. That is why someone, I think, likened this product to gold. What is it, gold? Yeah, pretty much. It heals you. It helps your body heal itself. It's a very powerful product. Stem Active is awesome. danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. First off, join. If you're somebody that's got a channel or a serious blog or anything like that, vlog, whatever the hell, and you want a good product that you can put a link for, yeah, go to join. I think you got to buy a pack to do it. You got to buy like 5, 6 of these things. So I think I don't know what the cheapest one is. They don't break you if you're someone that's kind of struggling a little. But if you're somebody that's like serious about kind of being successful, dude, you want to try some of these different products. They're amazing. They're amazing. So Stem Active, highly recommend. Balance is one I haven't heard anything back on it yet. It's a hormone support. It's not hormone supplement. So this is for the ladies going through the change. Something I'm not even allowed to talk about, really, technically, Balance. I'm sure if it's anything like any of the other products, it's going to be incredible. I want to hear from any of you ladies, the ones that are at least willing to share. Amaze is a collagen supplement. It's incredible. Collagen peptides, one of the best sources of it. It's liquid. It's almost immediately absorbed in your body. Collagen is one of the most popular proteins in your body. I wanted to say peptide. My brain's like, It's a powerful product. My girlfriend, this is the one she likes. She likes it. She's noticing a difference, by the way, with Stem Active Gel. I want to give her another week because she's got real effed up shoulder, really effed up shoulder. She's got calcification and shit going on in hers. She loves the collagen. She loves the collagen. Loves the collagen. And it is affecting the thing. I don't know. It's not going away. It's not gone yet. It seems like it's kind of fading a little bit, but that thing's been there for months and months and months and months. She's gone to dermatologists. Like, this is like a legit thing that just, so we're giving it time. I think the collagen's helping. AL12 has to do with your antioxidants. Incredible way to get those out of your body. Those are what cause aging spots. I should probably get her on these, frankly, but good God. My girlfriend's so minimal maintenance, yet becoming very expensive, it seems. But yes, we are also talking about nitric oxide activate. This is the one I before I work out. It gives me energy. It's just incredible. I don't know. I can't tell when it wears out. I can't tell when it starts. But I can tell that it's working. It's just weird. I don't normally have like that extra. Like I'm like, hey, I got all the. It's stupid. It's weird. I don't know what it is. And then they got a Stem Active for pets. I kind of more recommend this if your pet's going through, like your pet's had a surgery, your pet's maybe ill, your pet's maybe, but it's going through a healing process. This, you want to help, because when you're going through a healing process, Stem Active, or Stems specifically, but Stem Active helps a bunch. And the Stem Active for pets is a way to give your pets that same boost in their stem cell therapy or stem cells in their bodies, and it makes a huge difference. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Those of you that have channels, even small channels, it's good to have an advertisement. Believe me, because you start to actually see sort of a, holy crap, I'm actually affecting people. Yeah, and it starts to kind of create a level of, okay, people are listening to me. It's like my first radio station. I've talked about it. I was on a station. I didn't know anybody was listening. I'd like literally beg people to call me. It usually didn't work. Every once in a while, I get lucky. It helps. It helps a lot. And you're helping people with great products. danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. You can join or just get some great products. Buy them. Check them out. Learn more. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Yeah. Take care of yourself. Start thinking positive thoughts. Start thinking healthy thoughts. And you'll start to experience healthy. White House has directed the U.S. military to drop options for increasing the American troop presence in Panama. Where I was really going in the big picture with all of this is we are literally going to a multipolar world. The United States is no longer going to be the police of the entire world. We don't want to be. We can't really be. And it's not fair to the world. And it's not fair or good for the direction we're going. So what we're finding ourselves in right now is we're finding ourselves in this transition period from a single polar world to a multipolar world, likely starting with 3, but that could change in time. There might be additional poles. And we're about to start to go into a place where the planet needs to focus as a planetary body, not as a country. We need to stop thinking that small and start thinking larger. We're actually part of a much larger community. Kind of one of the things that was cool with the whole climate thing, except it was just done in a very negative, nefarious way. So it was bad. But ultimately, us being together, united as a planet, and working towards planetary things together, well, 1, technology's happening, but 2, we're manufacturing together, and 3, we're not trying to go to war together. We're playing nice in the sandbox. It gets us helping each other. That is what's happening. The world's changing. Deep state's losing. That single pole is going away. The multi-poles are going to replace that. And that is where we are at. Here's Trump talking about Greenland. Again.
The Chinese are now using these rules.
What is your vision for the potential annexation of Greenland and getting the potential? Yeah. Well, I think it'll happen, and I'm just thinking, I didn't give it much thought before, but I'm sitting with a man that could be very instrumental. You know, Mark, we need that for international security, not just security, international. We have a lot of our favorite players, cruising around the coast, and we have to be careful. And we'll be talking to you. It's a very appropriate, really a very appropriate question.
There's an issue in the high north, so the Arctic. So what you did. So when it comes to Greenland, yes or not joining the US, I would leave that outside for me, this discussion, because I don't want to drag NATO in that. But when it comes to the high north and the Arctic, you are totally right. The Chinese are now using these routes. We know that the Russians are rearming. We know we have a lack of icebreakers. So the fact that the 7, outside Russia, there are 7 Arctic countries working together on this under US leadership is very important to make sure that that region, that part of the world stays safe. And we know things are changing there, and we have to be there.
Yeah, we are definitely coming together as a world, and the world is breaking itself into groups. Who exactly? Now, is it just 3, or will it be more? I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of countries, Australia, I think there's, who else? Brazil. Anyone else jump out? I think there's a lot of countries that I think want to have more access. Maybe England, but England has unfortunately been the problem forever. It's almost like Germany from that standpoint of like the world wars, right? So I think England's going to have some time to clean up its reputation, if you will. But a lot of I talked to my British friend that tends to correspond with me here, and we're talking about Canada, and Canada letting go. They're still technically under the royal crown of England, of Britain, I should say, frankly. So there's still that kind of thing happening, and where Trump is talking about I could have control of Canada is not far-fetched. It's not illegal. It's not crazy. What we're talking about is England giving up Canada, and they could very well give it up to the United States. Might not even be a question of whether Canada wants it to or not. And I'm not trying to be a dick to Canada. I think most of Canada is going to be cool with this. I think, unfortunately, the Quebecois are not going to be happy about this. They're the ones I worry about. They're the most, no offense, but the most douchey as a general state of Canada. Everyone else is fucking super cool. Like, they're just rad people. And the Quebecois are like, you must print that in English and French. All right. No one else makes me do that, but we do. Because we are special. All right. Go eat that croissant. That looks delicious. It's probably not good for you, but it looks yummy. Folks, we're making a difference and changing big time. Podcaster Gavin Newsom forced to borrow $3.44 billion to pay for Medicaid for illegal aliens. Yeah, Trump's not going to give him any money for that. And that's what he was used to with Biden. Right? Because they didn't care. USAID or whatever. They're funneling whatever money they could. Didn't matter. That's gone. Dried up. And he's got no place. He can't go to Trump. He knows that. Hey, Trump, I need money for my illegal aliens. Trump's going to be like, fuck you. Order something to that effect. I don't know why. That's what he should say. The fact that he's got a podcast is interesting. Someone was talking about it recently. They're like, he's getting into your business. And I started laughing. I'm like, whatever. I asked people to get into this business, frankly. Whatever. The more of us talking, the better. God's taking care of me. He pays my bills. I'm not worried about it. Petition to recall LA Mayor Karen Bass is running around right now. It's pretty awesome. We'll see. This has been going for a while. We'll see if it ever gets anywhere. I'm hoping, but I'm certainly bringing it up because I'm in California. Hello. Josh Shapiro's office says key emails in sexual misconduct case were deleted despite retention laws. So, like, normal retention laws are 3 to 8 years in this state government. He quit within 2 years, not 3, not even close, I guess. And they deleted all the emails, and he's involved in a case, oddly. So Thomas Howell, the administration's attorney, said during the February 12th hearing, he goes, quote, that frankly should not be surprising that an account of a departed employee would be disposed of in accordance with the record's retention schedules. Those retention schedules are public, and they establish that. You know, your general emails are deleted as soon as they are no longer necessary. Attorney for Broad Plus Liberty, Thomas Breath, said in the hearing that emails from former employees are kept between 3 and 8 years, while the emails in question dated back just 2 years. The complaint dates back to 2023 when Broad Plus Liberty filed a public record request for the email, as well as other internal documents dated back to March 2nd and March 10th of 2023. This was the last week that an employee who made sexual harassment claims against then Secretary of Legislative Affairs Mike Vereb worked in the office. The complaint alleged that Vereb retaliated against the aide after they reported inappropriate comments made by Vereb in February of that year. Vereb resigned in September of that year, just before the $295,000 settlement was made public. One of the attorneys representing the reporter who sought the communications told the outlet that the stunning admission in court that the emails had been deleted have led to the request for sanctions against Shapiro's administration for violating state laws on record retention. It's another example of how these guys just think they can delete shit and get away with it. But no more. We got a new sheriff in town, folks. His name's Cash Patel, and he doesn't sound anything like what I'm saying right now. Illinois lawmaker introduced a bill that critics say will make it legal for anyone experiencing a mental health episode to attack police. Now, two parts to this. I was actually going to lead with this story. That's insanity. Most of you are like, are you shitting me? No, I'm not shitting you. I'm not. I'd like to be, but I'm not. I don't believe there's any chance in hell this gets all the way through the process. We got people that are already trying to create bills to put Trump's face on Mount Rushmore. Whether that's a good idea or not, doesn't matter. Doesn't need a bill right now for it. No. Let's get through Trump's presidency. Let's be further than, I don't know, like 3-4 weeks into the presidency, and they're already, we got to make his face on Rushmore. Shut the friggity frig up. Are you shizzling me? I'm trying to pull it back a little. I want to cuss so bad. I'm just like, I feel it coming out. It's like a monster. It feels so good, though. Oh. All said. Illinois Dem lawmakers pushing a bill to legalize attacks on police. If somebody's like under mental duress, it's okay. It's Illinois. Oh, my God. General Ken Paxton announces investigation into Dallas for open border sanctuary city policies that violate state law. Short story, the sheriff there is like, I'm not going to arrest anybody. Or the Dallas Police Department, whatever. I'm not gonna get involved in this stuff where the government wants to come in and blah, 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 blah. And so, yeah, Ken Paxton's looking into it because that goes against state law, and so we've got a little bit of a fight going on. First off, Houston was recently in the news, which is awesome, or Houston if you're in New York. Sorry, you guys pronounce it friggin' weird out there. I don't know what's wrong with you, Houston. Which is where we're gonna be, by the way. 2-A-Days is a place. 4th of July. If you can and want to be there, we're going to do a live show 4 to 6 p.m. It's going to be Central Time, local time there, Central Time at 2-A-Days. It's on Pearland Avenue in Houston, Tejas. I hope they have tacos. God, I hope they have tacos. They better. If not, get tacos, please, for that night, sir. But you guys, seriously, it's a good place to check out and go. 2-A-Days, they are very cool. They've done stuff for the Badlands guys as well. So this is definitely a venue that's super cool to patriots. It is a patriot-friendly location, but if you can be there and want to be there, I don't care if you're not able to get there. We don't need to hear a tirade, and it's not my email, okay? I'm not going to see this. They're not going to forward any of this to me, so please don't email it for that reason either. You either have my email address or you don't, but this is not the email address, right? But if you could give us a head count, it helps to make sure our venue is going to hold, which it should, but go to On the Fringe Around the Nation at gmail.com. That's On the Fringe Around the Nation at gmail.com. Give us a head count on that. I think our merchandise lady is going to be out there, and she's got a couple new shirt ideas we're going to talk about on Friday. So a lot of possibilities going on. You want to be a part of it? Give us a head count. Let us know you're going to be there. And you're also kind of on a specific, kind of an inner list, not to sound special. I mean, we haven't used it in any way yet, but certainly not going to sell it. That's never an intention. But to be able to communicate to you guys might. We'll see. I don't know. It's good to have that stuff. So this reminded me of that. And then Dallas, it sounds like they're starting to clean up their act. And I think those are two of a couple of your worst cities, right? Am I wrong on that? All right, a little bit of cray going on. I know I'm a little long, but not too shabby. This is... Okay, there's some weird shit going on. Okay, just give me a second here on this, guys. I apologize. I know it might seem like a lot, but considering I'm short in the big picture compared to where I typically am. But there is a lot of weird stuff happening right now from an astrological standpoint. Everyone was calling it an alignment. It wasn't. It was all in the sky. Very few of these things were actually aligned from a solar perspective. And aligned with each other. I don't know, you're always aligned with another point, but there's always, 2 points to align. But not a lot of stuff fell into it. It was in the night sky, and so there was a little bit of a misspeak about all that. All said, the occult considers solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, stuff like that to be a big deal. So we've got a blood moon happening right now, big deal, in the occult standpoint. Lunar eclipse happening literally the 13th tonight, which is Thursday, so you possibly have already missed it, maybe. But the deep state believes in these things. They do interesting things 3 days before, 3 days after. It is a very significant event for them. And some of the speculation is that they're going to be trying all sorts of crazy witchcraft, if you will, to try to influence things that just aren't happening for them. They are failing. Their ways are dying. They're on a different timeline, frankly. I mean, easy answer. And so they keep what the hell? It's like they keep calling a phone number and nobody's answering, but somebody's supposed to answer. Somebody's supposed to answer. Somebody's supposed to answer this call. There's always supposed to be somebody there. Nobody's answering at all. So, blood moon, blood worm moon, which is kind of gross. Total lunar eclipse. It's going to be blanketing North America with devilish red glow this Thursday evening. Well, here's the thing that's kind of weird. This is bizarre also. Just throwing this out there just to kind of start here. This is happening, I think, in Iran. So, there's that. That's a start. Now, any of you guys that are paying attention to the big picture, another great place where Grok came in handy. That deep search is awesome. Long story short, on the religious traditions, I was wondering about the Red Sea, prophecies surrounding oceans or seas turning red. Christian prophecies and revelations detail seas turning red during end times judgments, like in 8:8:9 and 16:3. Well, I think we've got some of those readings. Jewish traditions connect water turning red to 10 plagues, possibly reappearing before the Messiah, but it's not specific about the oceans. Israel 365 News put that out. They're also noticing other traditions like Hinduism. They don't seem to have direct prophecies about oceans turning. Let's see. That's Christians, texts. Thinking users might appreciate knowing how these fit into the broader religious narrative, so let's keep digging. Jewish sources also highlighting the parting of the Red Seas as a miraculous event, but not about water turning red. Let's see. Yeah, the 8:9 describes. Let's see. There we go. Oh, yeah, I should have been down here. Christian prophecies. Do we have the Book of Revelation stuff in there? 2 events describe the sea turning blood red. The second trumpet judgment, where the third of the sea turns blood and kills sea creatures and ships. There's also Exodus 7:17-21, a sign of God's judgment on Egypt. In the Book of Revelation, 2 events, right? Second trumpet. We talked about that one. Where's the other one? Yeah. So anyway, a lot of weird end times talk, and definitely, without a doubt, have a weird situation where the sea, and certainly in that part of the world, kind of, is being turned red. It's, I wouldn't say raining red. There's something going on, though. Something weird happening. I mean, it's probably describable by science, but from a prophetic standpoint, that's a big damn deal, in my opinion. And apparently Grok 3 pulled some cool stuff. Now, again, crazy times. Cray times right now. Right, so we got a lunar eclipse happening. It's a blood worm moon. And all this other shit's happening. Pipe bomb was found Wednesday evening inside a Sweetland, Maryland area near Washington, D.C. It was in a storage unit. They had to do all sorts of crazy shit to deal with that. I don't think anyone got hurt. Deputies from San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department are clearing the Loma Linda University Medical Center following reports of an armed individual. What we ended up finding out, though, is no, there was a swatting call. Again, cray. There's a swatting call of Loma Linda Hospital. There's not actually anybody in there with a weapon. Carl Lundstrom, the co-founder and earlier financial backer of the illegal file-sharing website The Pirate Bay, he died after a small plane he was flying crashed in the Slovenian mountains. Fired at Pirate Bay. Pirate Bay was one of the first peer-sharing networks, I believe, of file-sharing networks. And the deep state hated them a lot because basically people were just pirating crap left, right, and center. And I took advantage of that, sure. I'll be honest, a lot, big time. Oh, my God. Napster was the greatest thing ever. I loved Napster. I've still got, I think, zip drives and shit with just, I've still got gobs of information. I've got hard drives I've kept because there's music on them. I've copied most of it off, and I think it's on one of my portables. But, yeah, so much music. It was awesome. Had a T1 line right when they first came out at the radio station I was at. Dude, I'd literally download shit and then delete it just because it was so fast and amazing. They probably got charged so much money because of me. Whatever. So this dude crashed, died. Slovenia. I don't know. He was part of that file sharing shit. This is a trip. This is happening in Texas. It's very strange. We've got a little more extra info after this, but this is just like the coolest video. Now, obviously, fire coming out of a manhole is a bad sign. The color of it's very concerning. Interestingly, and there's some other, there's like a boron thing or a barium thing, or it's got this. We'll pull this up over there to the right. But ammonia can burn with a greenish-yellow flame under high temperature in specific conditions. Additionally, chlorine gas can produce a green flame when burned with oxygen. The color of the flame is very interesting. It implies something strange is burning. Now, we do understand a little bit more about the burn. We'll get there in a siggity second. Barium chloride, barium chlorate, and barium carbonate, barium nitrate, and barium oxalate are all ingredients you can add if you want, like fireworks, for example, right? You want to make fireworks go pew and go like green color. That's basically the type of shit they typically put in there. So maybe some weird stuff in there like that, but it could be the gases is what I'm kind of wondering, whether or not it is where's ammonia and potential. Chlorine's possible too. Chlorine, both of those very poisonous, really in the big picture. Almost wondering if they were going to try to hurt somebody. But what we've come to find is explosion of the Texas Tech. This is the area where you can really see the damage happening on the video.
Station here on campus led to multiple fires across campus, specifically in manholes across campus. You've seen some of that video of flames coming up from manholes. Thankfully, those fires were put out rather quickly, but it did lead to evacuations and a major power outage here on the Texas Tech campus. I'm standing right now in the engineering key, and outside of the lights from Lubbock Fire Rescue and Lubbock Police, it's basically still pitch black. Classes have been canceled.
That's why we can't see him. So I don't know, for those of you guys that can't actually see, there's a gentleman speaking on the screen. It's pitch black out. No, not even. I don't know. You could probably say that was in poor taste. I would argue. I think I did it well. Politico put this out. Putin orders swift expulsion of Ukrainian forces before peace talks. This rumor? No, I don't know if it's a rumor. He hasn't signed anything yet. Probably should have had this with the other stories, but he's supposedly got this little bit of land that's kind of an embarrassment that Ukraine took back. Well, it's not really took back. Well, yeah, took back. They made it sound like Ukraine took actual Russian territory, which they technically did. They took back, though, some of the land that Russia already took from them. They took it back. So they took Russian territory, not actual previous Russia. Russia would just spank them for that. No. So this is, they're trying to close it down. We got to get that back before, again, there's some interesting things around. One, I think the land that they've actually got. Two, the fact that the government that's currently in right now, Volodymyr, there you go. He's actually very anti-Russia for the most part. And that's got to change. In the previous government, before that was pro-Russia and everything was groovy, and this Donetsk and Luhansk and Crimea and all this shit, they were all like, yeah, if we speak Russian, we like Russia. Russia's, yay, we love Russia, right? And then new government comes in, oh, we hate Russia. And we're like, no, we love Russia. They're Mother Russia. We love them. No, gotta hate them. No, I don't want to. We're going to start shooting at you. And that's what happened, right? Now they attack each other. Well, they were being attacked. Well, they attack each other. It's not cool. Not cool however it happens. And finally, we've got a volcano up in Alaska. Mount Spur. It's apparently venting some volcanic gases. I don't know if they've been getting a bunch of, I don't see any eruptions, no mentions of, I don't know why my brain's not working, but earthquakes. Swarms of earthquakes typically when there's going to be any sort of eruption. But they are having gases come out, so I don't know, it's kind of strange, kind of tripped. I don't have this open either. What the hell? So many things happening wrong at the wrong time. But yeah, so there's gas coming out. They're like, this is kind of weird. No real eruption from the earthquake standpoint that typically happens, but there are a lot of people that are currently saying, hey, this particular, and it's right by Anchorage, by the way. It's kind of why it matters. It's not just Alaska. It's one of our states, but it's actually close to people. A bunch of fishermen and gold miners, apparently. Man, I'm stuck in that stupid Bering Sea Gold. That show, I'm telling you, it kills me. It's on Discovery Channel. They're going to get a big call out right now. And what's the other one? Because there's, the guys that do on the land too. I forget. There's a couple different dudes. They've got a few different shows. But this gold mining thing, I don't know what it is. It's fascinating to me. It's stupid. It's stupid. I don't know what's wrong with me. Got a lot of things wrong. It's okay though. I'm happy. I'm happy, folks. And you should be too. We got a lot of change happening. Things are working in the right direction. We won the war. I think the division is starting to happen. It's just happening at the speed it happens, man. I don't know. It gives me a job. It's kind of cool. I appreciate that. But ultimately, yeah, it sucks. It's not happening fast enough. But at the same time, I don't think we could handle faster. I mean, I'm trying to help with that as best I can, trying to get people's, if we can get your energy up a notch, then if we can get you up a notch, specifically you up a notch as far as your energetics, then that means we can actually, as a larger population, handle a slightly faster speed. So if I can get you and then the new you next to you, if I can get both of you guys working in the right direction, we're gonna make a huge difference in the pace. So don't give up. Don't stop working, please. We're not even close to done, so don't even relax. That's not going to happen. You can take breaks whenever you want, but you better get back to work. I'm out there working. All right? We're doing this together, folks, shoulder to shoulder. We're walking forward together as a unit, giant unit. And I love you guys. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.